quick question before we jump into this. Do you feel any confidence in Alex Paeta in this matchup specifically, given that he got caught with a nasty shot, man? It was really accumulation. It was like 2 or 3 nasty shots by Adesanya, no defenses, full offense mode, right? That's after you're cutting arguably 30, 40 pounds. Now your water is in the brain, you ready to go, you pumped up, you big. Who knows what he's walking at now? Do you think that what everyone's saying in terms of these light heavyweights are going to knock him around? Are you a little more confident in Pereira given that we have this big weight discrepancy?
I am confident in Paeta, especially because of that, Derek. He wasn't so much a tweener in that 185 to 205 pound class. He was a lot more like already weighing plus 215. Homeboy is big, man. So he's still probably cutting a little bit of weight, but now he gets to relax a little, have a little more power. I think the real big thing that's going to be my question answered when this fight gets done, will Paeta be able to stop the takedowns? Because that's really where when the Polish power man, when Jan Blachowicz gets in trouble and then he locks up any kind of grip on you, really, you're going for a ride, he's going to control you, and he's going to do the same thing he did to Israel Adesanya. And let's say Paeta does get it done. Then we got moves talking, we got moves making. There's finally a jump forward that the UFC is able to do with getting another double champ in the mix. So that's why I was saying storylines going forward here. Do you think anyone's thinking that far ahead in this fight, or is this just Paeta being hungry enough to get the title at any cost he can? What do you think?
Bro, this is absolute narrative. This is glory, double champ in glory, moving over to UFC, fastest to do it. You're bigger than McGregor at that point, man. You're literally the biggest that you can be. Now, will you really surpass McGregor? No, of course not. He's the first to do it. But I do think that the aspiration is there, and the reality is if he wins this fight, they're saying that this is kind of like a title eliminator for that Bacon Championship. So it would be, Blachowicz or Paeta versus Prochazka next, something like that. This is, though, what I'm really interested in, man. This part of the narrative. Yeah, it's nice to chalk up Paeta and be like, he's going to be the double champ, X, Y, and Z. He's so powerful. This is going to be a moment where if you're backing Paeta, you're either going to look like the smartest man in the room or you're going to look like the biggest fool who has never watched an MMA fight in your life. Because if we're being honest, your path to fighting Jan Blachowicz lied in Andreas Michailidis, Bruno Silva, Sean Strickland, and Israel Adesanya. People were already saying Adesanya was just a tailor-made matchup for Paeta that he was able to overcome, even though that the skill level was vastly different, right? Now you fight a Blachowicz, who, just like you said, AJ, he wants to get a body lock on you. Once he grips his hands and locks that thing up, you might not be going anywhere. Glover Teixeira says it's a hard time keeping Paeta down, but the reality is you're fighting a black belt who is a true 205er. Do you think, or does that doubt creep in the back of your mind as a handicapper, as a wager, as an analyst? Do you look at that and be like, this is the riskiest pick you could possibly make? Like the risk-reward outcome is drastic on both ends. What do you think?
This one made me tremble in my boots a little, Derek. I won't lie to you, especially because of that. And the old adage goes a long way. History repeats itself. Will Blachowicz be able to do it again? Well, he's done it before, and he's done it before that. So, yeah, the potential is there, and that little bit of doubt creeps in because we haven't seen a true test of what Glover Teixeira is saying. We haven't just seen Alex Paeta picked up and dumped, and just keep on getting up over and over and over again. We haven't seen it. So until that's solidified and confirmed, a little bit of doubt is really sitting there. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing also going forward, Derek, I'm curious what your outtake on this is. Does the power that Pereira really presents going up, does that at all affect Blachowicz? Or is this just another day at the office because he's seen this kind of power day in and day out? Or is it going to be a little bit of power transfer there?
I think it depends on how much Blachowicz respects Paeta. If he treats him like, oh, this is a 185er coming up, this is not a 185er coming up. This is a dude who had to kill himself to get to 185. This is a 205er. This is pretty much a legit 205er, right? So you're going to respect anybody's power, especially left hook, big knees up the pipe, man. You better be careful on those shots because we know Paeta's tall, lanky, and can hit you with those ones. That's what scares me. I just think that in terms of being like a purist, I think Paeta is way more of a pure striker than Blachowicz is. However, Blachowicz is the whole package, and we know the whole package can definitely win. Here's the other thing that I didn't really want to bring up, but I think we're going to have to talk about it, man. The other thing is that, yeah, on paper, Blachowicz should win this fight. Blachowicz is also 40 years old, bro. Like, no one is talking about that. We're all talking about Pereira, not that good. Listen, my man Pereira is 36 years old, but with not a lot of wear and tear in MMA specifically. He got a lot of kickboxing fights and rounds, does not fight like a 36-year-old. How much does that play a factor in this matchup?
And, initially, Derek, I didn't look into it that much because if you think of Blachowicz, he hasn't been staying that active. He's active nonetheless. I'm sure he's been doing his 3 fights. Let me double check just to make sure.
2 fights in 2022, 2 fights in 2021, 2 fights in 2020.
In 2022.
Yeah.
3-19, which not bad, but that's going more to my point. He's not hitting his normal 3 or accredited 3 fights a year, or even going to what some do like Kevin Holland, where you have 7 a year. So the damage that Blachowicz is taking isn't that drastic, but 40 years old, 40-year-old chin, you're still in the gym every single day. So, 20 plus years of that kind of grind does wear down on the bones. Makes me curious a little. I'd be a little cautious for that. Would you, Derek?
I would, but before anything, just because, my job, my due diligence here is to like back you up sometimes. You tell me anybody that fights 7 times in a year, brother, and I will be amazed. Ain't nobody doing that. Maybe 5, right? That's where we're at. You're fighting every 2 months if it's 7 times for Kevin Holland.
Didn't Kevin Holland have 7 fights?
I think it was 5. I think 5
Was it 5?
5 is the record, my friend. Yeah. If you look down at the notes for Kevin Holland, man, 7 fights in 1 year, bro. Come on, you're literally fighting every 2 months. Like if you do that math, that's kind of
don't doubt a Trailblazer, bro.
Anyways, brother, the point is, listen, this is a very intriguing matchup that we have on our hands, and you can either look like really smart or really dumb. I am hoping I end up in the right camp, and I'm just gonna say, man, in terms of the moments where it's on the feet, where Pereira can stay up, big knees, elbows, and hooks. I think that's what the game plan is going to be. Uppercuts, everything that is mitigating the takedown from Blachowicz. Give me Pereira, and I'm going to go by knockout, tried and true. How do you see it?
Ooh, I like that too, Derek. Especially if Pereira can get Blachowicz to be reaching for something, trying to grab, and he follows up with an uppercut, hook over the top, however he gets it done. I see Pereira KO as well.
That's right. All right, that's going to be, this is implications. Out of all the fights, like this is implications right here. And if Pereira can pull it off, that'll be amazing.